Good morning, everybody. You are tuned to Computers 2K now on the Nissan Communications Network. I'm Amnon, your host for the next couple of hours, along with Nick. Yeah,
Hey, good morning.
he's
How are you
playing
doing?
games with me now.
He's messing with us.
And Spence is here.
Good morning.
Good morning. Gal is probably joining. I didn't hear anything that he's not going to show up. I didn't hear anything about Mike not showing up, so we'll wait and see during the show. Our number is 919-518-9773, Computers 2K Voice on Skype. And today's show is made possible by vMix Software, Wirecast, Telestream's Wirecast software, and is sponsored by Tom Sinclair of Live Streaming Gear.
Live screaming gear?
Live screaming, yeah, screaming. Yeah, it's the gear is live and it's screaming.
It's probably a good segue into our first story here, which is that Telestream's new software, TireStream, which is a car-based version of Wirecast.
I have not heard of that.
Oh, that's what you just said. So, I mean, what are you going to do?
Oh, okay. We're talking about Telestream. Did you watch Steve's and?
I did.
I couldn't. I mean,
Why?
I don't know. I mean, I will click on it on Facebook and it will come on and start spinning, and then go back to the thumbnail. And I told him, and he said, well, we're watching it. So I went and tried to watch other videos on that page, and all of them are playing except that one. So I didn't go back to him. I don't know what is the problem, but I couldn't watch it. Besides, I mean, I still don't understand. Maybe you can explain again, Nick, since you know that I don't receive notifications from Facebook. I get the emails. I got the notification through an email 24 hours later after the
Again,
show.
that's not the point of Facebook. That is not what its intended use case is. If you want notifications, use the app on the phone.
Okay,
that will give you push notifications.
No. Oh, well.
But that's the thing, though. Facebook is a social network. It's not a...
So why are they even sending an email?
Because they're just sending you an email so that they can continue to...
I mean, every time I log in, every single time I log into Facebook, even if I do it 4 times within a minute, I get 4 messages that you just logged in. Well, so why can't you just notify me about that?
It doesn't.
It's a different mechanism. I know.
Well, it's not that it's a different mechanism, but
it is.
If Facebook sent a push notification every single time, if Facebook sent an email notification every time you got a notification, your timeline, your Facebook account would be going off all day.
Okay.
It's just not its intended use case. It'd be like getting a tweet every single time somebody tweeted on your timeline.
We can do that.
You can do that. I'm sure you could do that.
It would drive you absolutely insane.
But when you follow 540 people,
I
mean, that would become a real pain in the ass.
Yeah.
I would guess that there are people that do that and want to do that.
If you have a small time, now I get tweets when I get notifications when certain people tweet because their tweets are of interest to mine.
Yeah.
But that's a small select group of people that doesn't tweet very often. It's an alert account. When something happens, it alerts me. Why don't you just see Amazon though? Here's the thing: if you leave Facebook just open in a tab on your computer, you'll get a little ding when you get a notification. Just leave Facebook open.
I still occasionally use TweetDeck.
I use TweetDeck all the time.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
It's all I use. So just leave Facebook open And when you get a notification, you'll hear an audible ding.
I don't like to leave stuff like this open. I don't know why. I just
Well,
don't. I
no,
don't.
then I can't
Yeah,
help you.
no, it's fine. It's no big deal. Then you can go and watch the recording or whatever. But it's just interesting. And I remember that's what you told me before, that it's because I don't use the app.
Yeah, the phone app will notify you, and the website will notify you.
Yeah. Oh well. Anyway.
What's first of all, good morning. Sorry.
Gal.
Good morning, Val.
What's the dilemma? What's the question?
I got a notification, and I always do notifications about live things that happen on Facebook.
Right.
I get them like a day later in an email. I don't use the app on the phone,
Right.
so the
That's 'cause-
email is always delayed.
That's because you didn't pay the delivery fee.
Yeah, so that's
Net
what
neutrality.
that's the I remember Nick was telling me sometime in the past that something about why this happens, and apparently if you use the app, you'll get it right away. But if you're waiting for the email, it can take time.
Well, they do like a digest, like a lot of other services do. Their emails are more digests than anything else.
Oh.
So to pick a couple of things to put in the email, or to pick the thing that thinks it's most relevant in the last day to put in an email, it's more of a digest than it is, because you wouldn't have gotten notification that he was live on Facebook if you were on the website.
Hey, a new business name we can come up with: Tweeters Digest.
That's a good idea. Tweeters
I think
Digest.
we'd be sued.
Yeah, I guarantee you'd be sued.
The weird thing is, now that I'm thinking that when somebody, if somebody sends in a chat, well, I don't know. No, if somebody comments on what I do,
You get it instantly.
yeah, but that may be because I already am on the
No,
site.
that's because that's a notification. The thing that you're getting from posts is a digest.
Okay.
It is just picking a random post or a random set of posts over the past day and emailing it to you, hoping that you go back and click on the website. It's a digest. You don't get a notification when Steve goes live on Facebook. You don't. Nobody does. So it doesn't make it.
Yeah, that's you see, now that's I like how Twitch works. Every time you go live, bang,
Well, that makes
it's
sense.
right there.
But that's what Twitch. But again, you only follow one channel on Twitch.
Well, I follow a few of them, but I don't pay attention to. I mean,
No, but if you followed hundreds of channels on Twitch,
yeah, that would be a problem. I
be
see
very
what you
annoying.
mean. Yeah, but it would be
So-
the same kind of problem if you were just getting notifications, because your phone will go off.
I had to turn it off on my phone. I had to disable the apps.
Wow.
The push notifications on the app. Not because it was that bad. It was just annoying. I didn't need it.
Yeah,
I didn't watch
it is
any of the
annoying.
channel.
It could become annoying. Absolutely. Absolutely.
How to not use social media.
Oh, Amnon, I forgot to ask you, how did you do with the hail?
Oh man.
Three dents in Pam's car. It just happens to be the day that I had stuff in the garage and I couldn't get a car in the garage.
Oh.
And I did get it in during the storm. I ran out there, and that's why I have this cut on my head, because I was jumping into her car and whacked my head against the glass of the door as it was, and I got it in as it was hailing. But there's three small dents on her car. It shattered one of my outdoor security lights. I came out on the deck the next morning, and there's glass all over my deck.
I didn't even check those little lights. They work, but I didn't.
It's impressive.
No, it started, and Kathy's car was right outside the door. And I always tell her to park it under the tree because of the shade. And I said, you could put it on a tree, could you? So I took an umbrella and I went out there. I put my hoodie of the thick jacket and went out, and I moved it. And
I wish I'd had the presence of mind to do that, because I have umbrellas right there in the garage. I could have opened two of them and just stood there
yeah,
and protected
but
the car.
you
and I
know,
didn't think of it.
the shed right next to the studio, where I have the
Yeah.
grill and all that, full of holes. I mean, the roof is worthless.
Oh,
Full of holes because it's old,
brittle. Yeah, from the sun.
brittle plastic, that corrugated.
Yep.
Unbelievable. I mean, you look, and it's like you're sitting at what do you call that place where you see the stars
A
inside?
planetarium.
Yeah, just like you sit in a planetarium and you were looking up. It was sickening. But then our power went out.
We didn't lose power.
Yeah, we lost for
No.
about 4 or 5 hours.
Mm.
And right when it started raining, not during the hailstorm, but later when it came back, like a half hour later, the power went out, and it was really raining. So again, go outside, and I was so pissed. I screamed. I said, "Right now, when it's raining, you couldn't wait." So I went and started the generator.
Good thing you have a substation in your backyard, so you're
Yeah.
good to go.
I mean, this. I don't remember being like that, but uh, the size was maybe a little smaller than a quarter in diameter.
Oh, really? Somebody in
was-
Northwest Apex on the Weather Service reported 2-inch
Yeah,
diameter hail.
Yeah, I mean, now a friend of ours, Gal Sarid, who lives in the area, also said that they had something that was big, like almost like golf ball size.
Yeah, that's close to 2 inches.
But
We-
it was weird, it's so hot, and you look outside on the driveway, and it's all white. It was just like after a snowstorm or something.
Well, that's why they call them supercells. You have the what happens is the hail tries to fall from the storm, and because the updraft is so strong, it pulls the hail back up into the storm, which makes it bigger and bigger and bigger until it's so big that the updraft can no longer hold it, and then it drops it to the ground. So
If
the
you-
more
if you were to
rotation,
cut a
Oh.
hailstone in half, you'd see the layers.
Yep.
As it freezes up and down, getting bigger and bigger.
yeah. So if you
Right.
have a rotating thunderstorm that has got a lot of updraft, which is just air in the center of the storm going up, it just is kind of like one of those money machines. It goes down, it comes back up, it goes down, it comes back up until it's heavy enough or moves out of the updraft, and then it hits and dents your car. That's about what it does.
Okay.
It's a very small area too. Compared to the whole storm, the hail core is what it's called. It's a relatively small area.
so
Yeah, that's how it works.
so that's how it works.
Yeah.
And the noise was tremendous.
Yeah, it's loud, dude. All those little pieces, especially on metal roofs, are very loud.
The first indication we had that we had hail, there was a crash out on the deck. And I'm like, what happened? Did something fall over? I'm thinking the wind blew something over. And it was the first big hailstone hit the deck. And it sounded like somebody hit it with a hammer. Is right.
I mean, 2-inch hail, you're talking about close to a baseball. I mean, that's a big chunk of ice falling, 40,000 feet from the sky, which
Yeah.
is how high the updraft in a thunderstorm can be.
This is the first storm that I remember, at least being here, about where I had the next day contractors coming through the neighborhood
Yeah.
looking to help you with insurance claims for damaged roofs.
You might be able to get a new roof, depending
Right.
on how old your roof is.
Yeah, my roof was like 6 years old.
We had a pretty big hailstorm probably back in 2014 or 2015, and it did enough damage that my parents were able to get a new roof because of it.
I'm going to check it out.
Yeah,
I
might
got
as
a
well.
card from somebody just to see, but it doesn't look. He looked at it from the street. He was driving by. He says, "I don't think you have any damage," and I didn't think I did either because the hailstones we had were maybe pushing an inch
Yeah,
biggest. So, but it's interesting. The other cars that were sitting in the driveway, no dents, but the new Volkswagen got 3 dents in it.
Tells you
So
a
that
lot
tells
about
you
new
that the
cars.
sheet metal on the Volkswagen isn't all that
Yeah.
thick.
No, I mean, Kathy's car was right there, and I looked yesterday, and not a dent. So I told her, no dimples on the car. yeah, that was an experience.
One I don't want to have again.
No, but you know that we will.
Oh, I know, but I just felt bad that this had just happened to be the day. I had been working in the neighborhood and I had to get a bunch of saws and things out, and I had them all over the inside of the garage, and I didn't have a chance to clean it up yet
Yeah.
when the storm came. And I'm like, crap, the car's outside. And it was in the spot on the driveway where it's open to the sky. Everything else has got trees around it. Ugh. I actually thought about driving it onto the lawn.
Yeah. The thing is, where the real damage is, I mean, damage there is all the vegetation, garden, and all that. I mean, they're all the hostas and all those plants the leaves are just torn up. Kathy came back in and she said, "Oh, jeez." And you
My
can
tomato
see it.
plant survived. The one that Kathy gave me is actually still doing pretty good. I was thinking they would get wrecked, but
I'm talking about the ones that have bigger leaves.
yeah.
They are just it's amazing.
How much force does a piece of ice have falling from 25,000 feet? I mean, I don't know what the math is on that, but I mean, those
Well,
things,
once it
you
reaches
could get killed.
escape velocity, what is it? Not escape velocity. It's the term they have for something that's dropping. It gets to a point where it can't go any faster.
Yeah.
And it's probably for that, the mass of a ice, it's close to 100 miles an hour.
You can get killed. People have been killed by big hail before.
Yeah.
You're
Oh,
outside.
yeah.
I mean, you talk about a 2-inch piece of ice, depending on where it hits you in the head. 3-inch
boy,
piece of
yeah.
ice. I mean, you're
Yeah.
you're done. Could be done.
Terminal velocity. That's it. Thank you, Alan.
Yeah.
Yep. Escape velocity.
Yeah. What the hell are you talking
I
about?
was like, it's going into orbit. It's almost there.
That's funny. All
Well,
right.
Yeah.
pe-
Anyway,
people have been known to be hurt by rushing into cars and bumping into glasses. So
People have been known to be hurt by being hit by blue ice.
and Gal apparently didn't get anything in Morrisville.
yeah,
Well, what does that tell you?
you
Yeah.
need to learn where to live.
That is not true. That's a lie. As
I
the
mean, you know
weatherman here,
that's
a lie.
really
Said,
not.
said the guy who's being flooded once a year.
There was a
I'm not being flooded at all. What are you talking about? I'm good.
Up-
I live on the third floor. Third floor. There's no flooding.
Nick's, close to Nick's old stomping ground in upstate New York in the Hudson Valley. There are parts along the Hudson River where there's very high iron content
Oh yeah.
in the
Okay.
ground, and those areas are prone to horrific lightning storms. I used to
Oh.
live about 15 miles east of the Hudson River, and so I didn't get it too bad where I was, but I had a customer, Marist College, that was right on the river.
Oh yeah.
And whenever there was a bad storm, it literally took out their telephone switch one time. It didn't have very good lightning suppression, but went in there the next day, calls up, oh, the switch is down, because we were one of their vendors, and we go into the switch room, and it would just stank, and you pulled the boards out, the boards were just black
Ugh.
from the lightning, and it would they'd hit the dorms and take the power out. It would take out their network. It was incredible. It just right in this band that went across the Poughkeepsie area.
Yeah, that's what I thought Marist was.
Yep. On the cliffs.
Yeah.
But it's really not fair. Morrisville doesn't have hail. Morrisville has Google Fiber.
Yeah, you see, I told you.
Move. It's a real simple solution.
That's why they have fiber, because there's no hail. They won't put it in where there's hail.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, you can look at it that way, and you can always look at it as they're pulling as much as they can because nobody wants to live here. So it goes either way.
I believe that if Apex was not its own community power, that we would have Google Fiber here.
No.
Because if they were part of the Duke Energy system, why would Google want to work with a small municipal power company for right-of-way issues when they could work with Duke, right? So Apex begged 2-3 times. They contacted Google directly to say, we want you to bring fiber. And they said, no, we're not going to do it. I just think the economies of scale were just not there.
It'll happen.
Well,
I don't know what, but yesterday I had to go downtown for the monthly ceremony, and I'm getting on Jones Franklin, and on the left side when you drive out, digging like crazy. I mean, there were about maybe 7 or 8 guys digging every 100 feet. There was like a mound of dirt every so often, and then at the very beginning there was a drill with a fiber conduit that they were running through. I didn't stop to ask who they're doing it for, but it's something is coming there. Somebody's running fiber.
well, my neighborhood, it would be a really big deal. We do have fiber comes right by the entrance to the neighborhood.
Yeah.
So it's not like they can't do it. AT&T is here, and they do have limited UVerse service here, but no fiber from AT&T. And the UVerse service does not support television here. It's not fast enough. So they have the combo with the satellite and low-speed DSL.
They'll do it.
Yeah, probably the right after I move out.
Is that what they're waiting for? Maybe you
Yeah,
should trick
probably.
them. Maybe you should trick them and put a for sale sign.
Twice they've come to my house and said, "Oh, we want to sign you up." And I looked at the deal. What's the deal? And I was trying to find leverage against Time Warner at the time, and I was just fed up with it when the service was so erratic. And twice I signed up for installation and got calls the day before they were coming. Sorry, we can't install it there. It's not possible. It wasn't until the engineering guys actually looked at it that the salespeople knew they couldn't do it.
Isn't that funny? With me and AT&T, it was exactly the opposite. They
couldn't get them to
the
do it.
salesman kept saying, "No, you can't, you can't, you can't." And when I finally got a hold of an engineer, and he said, "We have it in your neighborhood. I mean, what do you mean you can't?" So I said, "Well, you need to talk to your sales department," and he did. And somebody said, "Oh, okay, yeah, we see that." It's ridiculous. Anyway, what?
Can you imagine that?
What?
I'm running in the street. Take my money.
So here's an interesting twist on disrupting elections. Here's something different. Russian Twitter trolls have attempted to fuel the anti-vaccination debate in the U.S. This is CBS News citing a study from George Washington University. It says the bots are reportedly sharing opinions from both sides of the debate to stir up controversy. The study further warns that the spread of anti-vaccination misinformation by accounts masquerading as legitimate users erodes the public consensus on the effectiveness of vaccinations. News of the study comes as the U.S. faces the worst measles outbreak in 25 years. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, said Thursday that 940 known cases. But isn't that interesting? And it says that while Facebook vowed 10 weeks ago to crack down on anti-vaccination information, it is all still there. I mean, they figured out
either they can't do it. They say they can, but they can't, or they willfully or not. So I think this organization is so big that the people in the upper echelons can say whatever they want. It doesn't mean it's going to happen.
I've got a question for you, Amnon. I'm trying to understand this article.
Yeah.
So Russian bots are doing this.
Yeah.
Yet it's Yet it's American people that aren't vaccinating their kids.
Yeah.
So what I mean, if the
Eh,
what
the-
that just doesn't. I mean, I understand the article, but I don't. It doesn't really make any
well,
sense.
oh, it makes a lot of sense. They figured out a way that we can actually hurt ourselves.
No, I don't. I don't think that's the case. I really don't.
I don't know.
I mean, there's plenty of people that post about anti-vaccine stuff, and to say that it's being promoted by any group is, I mean, are there troll accounts all over the world promoting this? I'm sure,
Probably,
but I have a
but
hard time.
but it's interesting.
This is a relatively popular movement, by the way. This is not just a fringe group of people. This is a pretty popular thing.
It always was.
That's what I'm saying. It just doesn't really make a lot of sense.
Well, if they found out that, I mean, if they got involved in it, even in a small way, that's an interesting thing to see, that a foreign country is doing something like this for the U.S. population.
Yeah, but I still don't
know,
buy the article. I don't know.
It's like if you're running down the street and somebody comes and pushes you a little farther, a little faster. What are they doing? Well, maybe something, maybe not. But it's to counter election stuff. That is interesting situation. Whether it's true or not, I mean, everything that I read here from news is open for debate, and you don't know whether it's true or not. There is no way to tell. There was another article that was very interesting. Where is it? That I sent you guys about running it out of Macedonia. Here, BBC Future has the story of Tamara, not her real name, who used to be paid 24 euros a day to rewrite U.S. news stories for a slew of fake news U.S. politics websites targeted at American newsreaders, but run out of Veliev, Macedonia. Basically, Tamara handler, Marco, would send her 8 real U.S. politics news stories via email every morning, asking her to rewrite them with very extreme political views and slants injected into them.
Oh, no.
The what?
Said, oh, no.
Tamara was often tasked with writing horrible things about Muslims, for example, making up heinous crime they had committed. So she was redoing a lot of stuff. And then it would go on Facebook, where Marco had over 2 million likes. Go figure. And on a number of American-looking fake news websites also run by Marco out of Macedonia. On a good day, Marco would earn up to 2,000 euros a day from Google ad revenues for his fake news U.S. politics websites. So she knew, and she said she characterized the content of the rewritten articles as insultingly ridiculous and obviously fake. But many American news readers apparently ate them up and frequently believed what they read.
I wonder if it's any more ridiculous than this headline I saw on CNN last night that said the headline is Laura Ingraham is a white supremacist. Is
Yeah,
that
you
any more?
see-
I mean, so, that's why I don't like these articles, because they're
Yeah.
BS. I mean,
Right.
you want to talk about extravagant and extreme opinions and extreme bias in news. You don't have to look at troll websites from Macedonia. Look at the freaking U.S. media. I mean, they're doing the same garbage.
True.
This stuff really pisses me off.
Well, but it's there, and you just need to. People need to understand that when Trump or anybody calls it fake news, it's not lies.
But here's the thing.
It's a
This
lot of
stuff-
them are true.
This stuff should be bombast. This stuff should be easily people should read these articles from these websites that you're talking about, right?
Mhm.
And instantly be able to say that this is clearly not a real news
Right.
source.
That
But
would
when
be
the regular news is so far
it,
off the wall, then you can't. So where's the blame posted? At the websites that are getting paid 2,000 euros a day by Google to continue doing this stuff? Or is it that the outlandish news coverage in the United States anyway that's causing these fake news websites to look not so crazy?
right
So, I mean,
because
where's the problem?
because the news networks that we have, the main networks, probably have their own quote unquote Tamaras writing
They
their
do.
news. Yeah.
I mean, I just read you the headline I saw last night. It's an article on CNN Business.
Yeah.
Well, the clever trick
Lordy,
that they use
come
is
on.
they throw out the salacious stuff in the first 2 paragraphs, and then they hide the disclaimer in the 12th paragraph where nobody reads it. So they can say, well, we put it in there. We didn't say that this was necessarily true, but they have it's a clever way to get people usually read the first couple of paragraphs and that's it. They move on.
But I think this also goes back to something else we were just talking about, right? Where is so I create, Gal and I decide we're going to create a fake news website. Where are we going to post this content? Facebook, 100% of the time, because people are going to like it, people are going to share it, people are going to comment on it, and Facebook doesn't do anything about it. And I don't blame them; they can't. I mean, they'd have to employ hundreds of thousands of people to sit there all day and view this stuff.
But they
But that,
seem to be able to knock out conservative stuff with no problem.
well, they knock out pages and whatnot, but there's a reason for them to do that. I guess in their estimation. But where would you post this stuff? You don't just make a website and all of a sudden you're getting hundreds of thousands of clicks a day. You've got to be posting this stuff on social media, specifically Facebook, because that's where you get your likes and your shares.
I saw a warning. Somebody came out and said that social media now is at the point where you can't even, it used to be you hired people that would master it and come up with a way to use it to your advantage. And they're saying now that it's becoming impossible to do that. You cannot control it. You cannot sometimes you can't even get ahead of a story anymore to try to, the spin doctors and the people that are hired to fix your reputation, if your reputation gets soiled, they can't do it anymore. They have to just wait. The thing they have to do now is just let the news cycle take over, let it disappear from the news cycle, and then try to do something after the fact, because you just can't get it. You can't get ahead of it anymore.
Well, it's definitely a problem any way you look at it.
Oh, it is, but I wonder where the actual problem is. Is it the Facebook? Is it the social media site that's allowing this fake news to spread? In a lot of regards, it's obviously the people writing the content, but they're writing the content because it's getting viewed and they're making money off of it.
Right. That's
So,
the
I
thing.
mean, can you blame them? I don't.
Fundamentally, it's ethics.
Yeah, ethically, it's
people don't
morally
care.
wrong.
They don't care that I'm going to throw this out there. I know it's not true, but it's
and
not going to
it's
help me.
Hey, for 2,000 euros a day, Spence, frankly, I think you could throw my morals and ethics right out the window too. You're talking about a serious chunk of change.
And especially if these stories are played right to your beliefs.
Cognitive dissonance.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen. You're going to have your filter, and you're going to agree with stories that agree with your filter.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's interesting.
I really do try to read different sources. I use news aggregators instead of just going to the places I used to go to that I know are going to support my views. I go to aggregation sites where you can check all the headlines from CNN, from MSNBC, from whatever, and I'll slide through those too, and I'll read those, and I'll make sure I'm aware of what's being put out there. It's hard sometimes. Your brain doesn't want to deal with it.
Well, the whole idea of that's social media news through social media is so it's supposed to be effortless and brainless. It's supposed to come to you and you read it and that's it. A lot of people should be able to read and make their own minds, but they don't because they're busy doing other stuff. So it's easy to sneak stories like that into you, and if 10% take it as the gospel, then
Well, think about what was the starting point for social media. I want people to know what I'm doing, right?
yeah, I
And
just had breakfast.
you look at just human nature when you're driving in your car. People that would normally be very calm can turn
Yeah.
into raving lunatics
Yep.
because they think they're anonymous, right? I'm in the car, nobody knows who I am. I can go past this person, I can flip them the bird, I can beep my horn, I can do crazy stuff because nobody knows who I am. Well, now that you want people to know who you are, and you want to be able to get as many clicks, as many likes, as many whatever's forwards and retweets as possible, and everybody's brain chemistry has changed. So the ethical starting point is not a good point. You want people to see that, hey, I'm in my backyard in my hot tub sipping champagne, when you're really living in a 10-story walk up with no air conditioning in a crappy part of a city. So it's
Well, anyway,
trying to
that's
think of the app that I have that's actually pretty good here. I've gone through lots of different aggregation apps over the
For-
years
for what?
for
For-
aggregating news stories. Let's see. There's one called let's see here. I can't get to it. Sorry.
No, it's all right. It's fine. I mean, it's
But look for one if you're trying to be at least cognizant of what's going on. Look for one that actually gives you all the different sites and not just the ones that support your view.
yeah. That's this is something that would help a lot if you would read both sides. But most people these days, I think most people become extremists to the point of, I mean, I don't mean extremists as in doing stuff, but in their belief. So now I don't want to hear about Fox News. That's all lies, and I'm not even going to look at it. And the other way, oh, CNN. Well, watch them.
Well, let me ask you this though. Why do people have those views and opinions? Because those outlets say crazy and
Yeah,
extreme
that's
things
true.
it's none of this stuff is brought on randomly. Both sides say the other side is Satan himself. So you stop listening to it. If Amnon,
Yep.
if every single day I call you Satan, eventually you're gonna be like, all right, Nick, stop talking to me. Leave me alone. I'm done. Don't talk to me anymore.
True.
And that's
True.
exactly what it is. Trump is the worst guy ever. Obama is the worst guy ever. Back and forth, and everybody that supports him is the worst people ever. And it's just like, okay, I'm not going to listen to it anymore. I mean, both sides have done it equally to each other, and that's why we're at this crossroads right now.
That's a good point.
I mean,
I don't watch either. I only watch Nissan Communication.
your source for news.
Who's your favorite news anchor on Nissan Communications?
Oh.
Well, Mike isn't here, so I can say Mike.
Did you get a chance to look at the front page of the specials yet?
Oh, not yet.
Kind of, but I didn't look at it. I mean, I glanced at it.
It's actually very timely for our discussion.
All right. Well, I mean, we're almost there. 10 minutes. You all will know what Spence is talking about. It's okay.
I've got something here that I saw.
Go ahead.
Oh, I lost it.
Lost it?
Hold on a second.
Fake news.
Time's up.
Somebody is. I saw this from Bloomberg. Yes, here it is. The Justice Department is exploring a Google antitrust case as of yesterday. Let's see. The Justice Department is exploring whether to open a case against Google for potential antitrust violations, putting renewed scrutiny on the company amid a growing chorus of criticisms about the power of big tech. So this could be. I'm sure the people at Google are not sipping their coffee calmly this morning, because I think that's literally the worst possible thing that could happen for them. It would be the Justice Department open up an antitrust lawsuit against them. I don't think that would end very well for Google.
Nope.
So something to keep an eye out for.
Well, during prior administrations in Washington, they had Google people sitting in the White House. Actually had people there as advisors. You don't see that now.
Yeah. Well, and there's a whole bunch of different things that the antitrust could be, around. There's the things with Android, then there's things with Chrome OS, and then Google, the search engine, and Chrome. And so it doesn't really go into what the antitrust, what it would be based around, but there are obviously a number of popular things that it could be.
Yeah, and they're playing sort of like the same game, the same tactics that Microsoft used back. When was it, in the 90s? When was the
the Internet Explorer thing?
and
deal?
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I also read, and again, there's no way to corroborate it without digging deep into it, but that now with Edge,
Oh, they're doing the same thing.
yeah,
They're just not forcing you. It's every time you have an update, it changes Edge to your default browser.
oh no, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about what Microsoft is trying to show people that Edge works great, and part of it is apparently going to YouTube and watching videos. And apparently last week, for a certain period, short period, Google made it so if you wanted to go to YouTube, they give you a pop-up that would say you need to use Chrome. Sort of like, to make it look like Edge was bad.
Well, you know what? To the uninformed, and I don't mean it in a bad way, people that just are not tech savvy,
Mhm.
they look at that stuff and go, "Oh, I can't."
Right,
I have to go
exactly.
here. And whereas we would go, "Give me a break," just click through it, and that's
Yeah.
it. You don't even pay attention to it.
Yeah.
'Cause you know what to
That's the thing.
expect.
But I mean, back then the Europeans complained, "Oh, you're forcing us to use Explorer." Well, I mean, if you're tech savvy, you know how to download Firefox or whatever else, or
Well,
Chrome, and use it. Oh.
I'm seeing some of these articles, and it feels like since when an error message in a technical application becomes news, right?
Well,
This is like a ridiculous situation, and it can be engineered from both ends, right? Because this one is about Google Drive saying Edge Insider is an unsupported browser, and it just says you are using an unsupported browser because the user agent, the string that goes into the communication, into the headers, right? The user agent is a new one. It is an unsupported one because it was never tested.
yeah.
Yeah, the word unsupported suddenly becomes news. This isn't a feud between companies, but everything is diverted that way. Instead of as a news item, right? To explain, not there's nothing to see here, not no alarm, right? It becomes like a fuel for a fight.
Yeah, exactly. It is a fight. It's a fight to keep people using your own utilities, your own services.
Uh, don't
It is.
that I don't see that.
Did you see the story that came out yesterday, day before? It says future Chrome changes may make normal ad
Yeah.
blocking an enterprise-only feature. I just
Yeah,
posted it in text in the chat.
Yeah.
And interesting because it's been uBlock Origin is great. And Gal, thanks for telling me about that. I use it on all the browsers now. But there are things happening at Chrome where they want to block all ad blocking except their own. And what I'm starting to lean more towards Firefox again. Simply because they went through a retooling. It was painful at first, where they changed their whole underlying architecture, and it seems to be getting better. The question was when they changed how they were going to support add-ins, because the vendors that supplied the add-ins were going, wait a second, you just made it really hard for us to work with you. But it kind of got sorted out. But didn't they use some core Google technology to help them with that?
Who?
So everything,
Firefox.
all the extensions, they're based on, in Firefox today, they're based on what's called web extensions. And web extensions is the same architecture that Chrome uses. So yes, the code base is really similar now. Making an extension for Chrome, the amount of effort you need to invest in order to make it work in Firefox is really minimal. Yeah. So there's still some effort. There's actually an experimental extension that somebody wrote for Firefox that you feed it a Chrome extension and it gives you a Firefox extension that you can load locally.
It's the extension.
I don't remember how they call it, but yeah, there's something funny like that. So the technology is interesting. Why they switched? I think it's obvious. When Chrome came out, they came out with a superior extension architecture, right, to Firefox. If you remember, just to update an extension, you had to restart your Firefox. So a simple thing like that, and suddenly changed. Firefox still had superior support when it came to it. These extensions could modify anything in the browser, right? How the browser looks, whether it has a status bar or not, or stuff like that. And that changed with the switch, and that was the upheaval that I think they called it Armageddon, the first one. So yeah, it's
bring back Mosaic.
Yeah, right.
I remember the first time I was in a business conference and for network designers, and a guy from AT&T says, "I'm going to show you something brand new. It's called Mosaic," and he did a presentation on Mosaic. It's going to revolutionize everything. And we're all sitting there going, "Oh, we were really into fiber and Ethernet, and
yeah,
we really weren't too worried about what was happening on the internet side. It's more enterprise." But sitting there watching that first demonstration of Mosaic,
I remember that. I remember discovering Mosaic. I was a teenager, and my dad was he was not an attending professor, but like a visitor professor with the Technion. It's like a big school in Israel, big college, university. And so they had this farm of Solaris machines where they did CAD software. I wasn't interested in CAD, but those were sweet machines, right? They ran X Windows and all of that, and they're connected. All of these machines are hooked up to the internet because that's a university. And so I learned about Gopher, learned about IRC, learned about all that, and then I discovered this little application on the site called Mosaic, right? And getting a page to render with words to link on them and click, and it takes you to another page. Was like,
it was amazing.
That was the best.
I used to use Prodigy
with images
back in the day.
You used to use what?
Prodigy.
Yeah.
I was on a bulletin board first, but the first really graphic interface was Prodigy. And the problem was where I lived, it was a long distance call to their closest POP. And I had to limit my time.
Telenet. Telenet. You remember Telenet?
Telenet
would take you long distance for a certain amount of money a month. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Prodigy was like
Like
CompuServe.
AOL.
The dial-up. It was a dial-up
Yeah.
service, but it came. It had actually had a GUI.
Yeah. It was
And
like
you could-
AOL kind of thing,
Yeah.
but not on such scale. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of
Right.
It's
people.
one of these
AOL,
things.
AOL, CompuServe. Those were the services here in the States.
Right. And
Yeah.
people really thought, a lot of people thought that was the internet. It was, I remember this is when I really had to explain to people that no, there is more to the internet than what AOL is showing you. There's more to the internet than what CompuServe is
Yeah.
showing you. You just need to get outside of it.
Remember
Oh,
when the first
wow.
Prodigy had their first browser? They were trying to keep up and trying to provide, open it up, and they came up with a very limited use browser where you could actually go out and search outside of Prodigy.
I don't know.
Eventually they just collapsed against themselves because they just couldn't innovate. But I knew people that were part of the founding of Prodigy. It was a bunch of IBM people involved, up in the Hudson Valley, and they were desperately trying to come up with new content. Like amazing how it was where you could go and they had an online encyclopedia that Prodigy supported.
Yeah.
But the kids wanted to use it, and I said, "Well, it takes too long. It takes like 10 minutes to download the article you want on the with the modem." It's like, no, you can't do this. You go to the library and get the encyclopedia from there. So amazing.
All right. Are you ready for specials?
I am ready, and I'm very happy to say today that after long negotiations, we have now are ready to announce that we're going to be embedded in many home automation and security vendors' solutions. So, Amnon, instead of saying Alexa, you're going to say Amnon. And it'll be Amnon, get me a beer. Amnon, what's the forecast? Amnon, how do I make money in the stock market? Right?
Mhm.
So we're all set. We're all set. Mike will be just limited to supporting thermostats, though. So decided we're not going to. He's got a very specific niche there that he can serve. All right. So a little bit different today, and you'll see as we get through this. At first glance, it won't be, but towards the end, it will be. Computers 2K Now specials for June 2nd, 2019. And we start with laptops, and Best Buy has got a Lenovo AMD A9 series laptop, entry-level laptop, 4 gig of memory, 128 gig solid state drive for $199. That's $100 off. They're starting to get into their back to school thing already. Can you believe this? Student deals? What? It's June. Wow. But this is actually touted as a student deal. Office Depot has a Lenovo IdeaPad L340 17.3 inch Ryzen 5 for $419, which is $150 off. 8 gig of memory, 1 terabyte drive. And Staples has an i5 Lenovo S340 with 8 gig of memory and 256 gig solid state drive for $429, which is $270 off the regular price. If you belong to Costco, I was down there the other day looking. They have a fairly good display of maybe not the very latest laptops, but they do have some good prices on some models. And they're not going to carry high-end business machines necessarily, but they'll be high-end consumer machines. Check it out, Costco and BJ's Warehouse. Desktops all-in-ones. We've got at Best Buy a Dell 23.8-inch touchscreen all-in-one AMD A9 for $579, 70 off. Office Depot has a Dell desktop, an i3 8 gig, 1 terabyte for $419, which is 110 off. And Staples has an HP i5 12 gig, 1 terabyte for $479, which is $150 off. Best Buy has a entry-level Samsung tablet. It's a Galaxy Tab A 7-inch, 8 gig. Yeah, it's not a lot of memory. And if you're going to load a lot of games on it, you'll probably run into trouble. But it does support a plug-in uh, SD card, so you can expand the memory and load games into that. $99, save $30. Office Depot has an Acer 15.6-inch Chromebook touchscreen machine for $189. That's 4 gig of memory, 32 gig flash drive. Good for basic browsing, but the fact that it's a touchscreen is why I included it in the tablet category. It's $40 off. And Staples has the Alexa Fire 7 Android tablet with Alexa 8 gig for $39, save 10. I mean, you can't beat it for $39 for a functioning tablet. Yeah, it's got all the Amazon stuff on it because you're paying to have the promotions. If you want to have the promotions removed, you have to pay more for the tablet. But still, for general use, you want to watch Netflix on it, want to watch Amazon on it, you want to play music, play games, $39.
Well, theoretically, you can root the machine and
You
also
can.
put
I
the,
haven't. I
yeah.
haven't yet. But
Yeah.
it's the only time I ever see anything that's annoying is the startup screen. I swipe, it's gone. So I have nothing to worry about. I think I have mine is I think it's 32 gig. And I never have a problem. And I do have an expansion card in it. Networking. Best Buy has a Netgear Nighthawk AC 1900 dual band router for $149, which is 40 off. Office Depot has the Google Wi-Fi AC dual band router mesh system for $259, 40 off. This is a base station and 2 slaves. And Staples has a Netgear AC 750 dual band Wi-Fi range extender. This does 2 things. It will be as a range extender, but it will also give you a remote Ethernet port. So if you have a device that does not have Wi-Fi built in, or you want to have a switch out there to support multiple devices, you can also use this as a extender,
As a
Wi-Fi
wired,
to Ethernet extender. What?
yeah. As a wired.
As a wired converter, yes,
Yeah.
it'll work. So handy. $59, save 15. Storage at Best Buy, we've got a SanDisk 1 terabyte solid state drive for $119, which is 20 off. Geez, the prices on this stuff just keep coming down. If you want to get a 128 or 256 drive, it's just ridiculously cheap. Office Depot has a 32 gig SD or SD and micro SD memory card, the extreme ones, very fast writing speed, $19.99. That's $8 off. Staples has a Samsung 500 gig Samsung solid state drive for $79. This is 20 off. Accessories. Best Buy has a Wacom wireless graphic tablet for $79, save 20. So if you're into any kind of graphic design where a tablet will help you, this is a highly rated device. I'm trying to get into some different stuff here today that you don't normally see in the ads. That's $20 off, $79. Office Depot has the J-Create 40-watt 5-port USB supercharger for $25.99, $4 off. Handy if you have a lot of devices that require higher wattage for charging. Now, a device is going to limit the charging if the charging circuit is designed properly. If it's a low power charger and you plug it into this, the circuitry should limit. It shouldn't push it to the point where it overheats the battery or something like that. But these are great for some of the devices now that can accept a faster, higher rate of charge, like a tablet or something like that.
But there's always a chance that you could damage something if
you could, and you should read the directions
Right.
and the devices, especially if it's older USB.
Right.
But this is good for a lot of the newer devices. Okay, Staples has a Logitech laser presentation remote for $39, which is 20 off. So if you're controlling your presentation and you also want to have a built-in laser pointer, the prices of these things have come down too. Reasonable. Monitors at Best Buy, we've got a 23-inch Acer monitor for $99, save 60. Office Depot has a 22-inch HP monitor for $89. That's 20 off. And Staples has a 21.5-inch Acer monitor for $89.99, which is $40 off the regular price. Printers and scanners. Best Buy has a LaserJet M15W for $79. That's 20 off. I typically don't put supplies in here, but I just came across this. Avery is the
Standard.
gold standard for labels. What?
Yeah, standard.
Yeah, for
going.
labels. And if you print, don't go with. I mean, you can find labels that are more inexpensive. They probably work okay. But Avery's the one that if you're going to run a laser or a inkjet printer labels, you want to go with good labels. So it's a good price on the label. These are address labels, 750 pack, $10, which is $3.99 off the regular price at Office Depot. And Staples has a good deal on an HP OfficeJet 200 portable printer with wireless and AirPrint. So it'll print either wirelessly, USB, or air printing. And I'm not sure if it has what the other what else is supported as far as printing from mobile devices, but it does support AirPrint. So $199, which is $100 off the regular price. So if you do have a mobile printing application, this is a good printer to start with. Good price. Home automation and security. Best Buy has the Arlo Pro 4-camera wireless security system, $449. It's $150 off. Office Depot. This is not an ad from our sale ad, but it is on sale. They have the Ring Pro doorbell for $199, say $50. I installed the Ring Standard and Ring Pros. I haven't installed any other brand, so I can't compare them, but they are very well made. They come with good accessories. They come with good instructions. But if it doesn't fit exactly right, is the big problem, because so many different, the way people's doors are designed, sometimes there's some work to do to get these to be installed. I had to create a special template for one customer because the width of the space was too narrow and I wanted to make it look right. So I actually fabricated something to make it look more professional. But good stuff. $199, $50 off. Staples has the Google Home Hub controller for $99, which is $30 off. It comes embedded with Nick's voice. So this is the new agreement we have. So, hey, Nick, turn on the lights in the living room. So
Leave me alone.
leave me, hey, Nick, leave me alone. Okay. And shuts itself off permanently. We can never use it again. Okay. So departing from our normal modus operandi here, now we're going to go with Walmart for a while, because they really do have some good prices, and stuff is probably a lot more available across the country than Fry's. Fry's tends to be a little more expensive on shipping. They do have some interesting, wacky stuff, and I will go back to it from time to time. But I'm going to check out Walmart for a while, and you can find some good embedded deals on Walmart if you're willing to search through the webpage. They've got a clearance deal on a Dell 11.6-inch AMD A9 convertible laptop for $249. It's usually $349, so $100 off. They've got an Acer 11.6-inch Chromebook touchscreen 2-in-1 with a Celeron processor, $269, which is normally $332.09. Whenever you see a weird price like that, it means they're going through some type of reduced price or clearance cycle or end of sale for a product. They have an 11.6-inch Acer 32 gig Windows 10 home convertible laptop tablet for $184.79. Got 32 gig of RAM, 4 gig of memory. They've got, sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm saying nice.
Yeah. So they've got a streaming device, an Android streaming device called Xiaomi MI Box S 4K HDR Android TV with Google Assist for $49. 2-day delivery. And look at this 32-inch JVC Roku Smart TV, $114.
This is only for Roku?
Well, no, it comes with built-in Roku. It's a television, but it has
Yeah.
a Roku. It's a smart TV that's got Roku enabled.
Okay, so it's
So you can use it as a television and for all these other apps.
right. So it's a
It's almost as cheap
32.
as just buying the Roku.
Yeah.
So normally $199. I am amazed when I walk through the store now and I look at the price at Costco, 55-inch television for less than $400.
Yep.
It's incredible. And they're calling it, 4K or that everybody's, I mean, like Gal was saying about the QLED should not be associated with OLED because QLED is a marketing term. OLED is a technology. So, but yeah, watch what you're doing there. But the incredible prices, just amazing. Okay, but wait, there's more. We've got a Morphe 10-watt QI charge pad, 4.9-inch charge pad for $25.03 at Staples. That's $14.96 off. Amnon, this is for you. You need to be able to carry your tablet around
Of course.
stylishly. So this is the Urban Universal Tablet Sling Bag. You're going to look great with this. And it does come in camo. So you'll be all set. $24.49, save $7.50. Office Depot has a Lenovo IdeaPad AMD A6 convertible laptop for $249, save $100. Best Buy's got the Logitech C22 Pro web stream camera, $79.20 off. They've got the Google Mini Home Smart Speaker 2-pack for $29, save $20. Office Depot has a Logitech MK540 advanced wireless mouse keyboard for $39, which is $20 off. And then finally at Walmart, we've got the Xiaomi robotic vacuum for $469, which is normally list price for $999. This is half price, clearance product. Don't know much about this brand, but hey, I think it was Walmart, the display they had five different brands of robotic vacuums. It was incredible. Prices can go into outer space, like you see here, $1,000. And finally, Roku Premiere 4K streaming player with 30-day trial of something. I wasn't able to figure that out quickly on the webpage, but $39, 2-day delivery, free pickup today. So go get yours today at Walmart. And that's it for June 22nd, 2019 Computers 2K Now specials. And don't forget now that we're embedded in all these smart home devices.
And
Start to use the correct name. So, and by the way, that means we have direct access to all the cameras on these devices. So we're watching you.
What?
24/7.
No. To go to that was a perfect segue. Xiaomi thing.
Brother.
It goes, iRobot last week launched 2 new robots. The Roomba S9 Plus robot vacuum cleaner and the BravaJet M6 robot mop. The Roomba S9 Plus robot vacuum with clean base automatic dirt disposal starts at $1,299. The Roomba S9 without the clean base starts at $999. Yeah, I don't mind taking a dirty one and just clean it. I don't know why I have to start with a clean base.
Are they going to get grief? Are they going to get grief from Sony? Because doesn't Sony have Brava?
I don't
Isn't that
know.
one of their brand names?
That's
Is
what
it
I was going to
Brava or
say.
Bravia?
Brava.
Oh, maybe it's Bravia.
Oh, it's Bravia, Sony?
I don't know. Maybe it is. They do it. The Sony. No, it's Bravia. BRAVIA.
Okay.
So the Jet M6 robot mop starts at $499. All the robots are available for purchase in the US and Canada. They will start shipping in select European countries on July 12th. The 2 robots can use iRobots' imprint link technology to talk to each other, vacuuming and then mopping automatically. The technology also works with the Roomba i7 Plus, which launched in September. iRobot is thus introducing two robots that can clean together as a team. Owners of the robots can initiate a linked clean in the Robot Home app. Now you have a team, it's not just a maid that's coming, it's two of them coming in. Now, for $4.99 to mop the floor in the kitchen, geez. Now, I mean, I guess people do have bigger homes that don't have carpets. You do it again. So, no, let me get
Just
Spence.
say something.
No, here I'll get it there. All right, what are we looking at, Spence?
This is the robot dog walker
Yeah. Jeez.
from
This is
Back to the Future,
right? Yeah.
Yeah. We need
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Amnon is talking about robots talking to each other, right? The only thing I can think about is C3PO and R2D2.
Yeah. Oh, it's amazing. I mean, the closest I ever got to any kind of quote unquote robotic floor sweeper was that round thing that had a ball inside that you charge the ball and the ball spins and it just drags the thing all over the place. There is no rhyme or reason. It goes different directions all the time, but it would pick up dog hair and stuff, and it was nice for about a few days, and then okay, fine. But again, it wasn't no $1,000. It was only like about, I don't know, $10, and it was fun. So
It was good if you had cats too. It was keep the cats busy.
never had that, so I don't know. I would guess. Yeah, you're right.
It would drive a dog insane, but a cat would love it.
Let's see what else. It's sort of pushing it back toward the politics, but it's not. British consumers have begun trading in smartphones, smartphones from Huawei in growing numbers since the Chinese tech giant was hit by a U.S. supply blacklist. That's from Bloomberg. Trade-in and price tracking companies report a surge in UK consumers trading in devices from the Shenzhen-based manufacturer, while interest from buyers fizzled. The numbers show that concerns around the companies have extended beyond trade talks and corporate procurement and turned into backlash at retail, where Huawei makes most of its sales. So I don't know. I've never seen a Huawei device. Any of you guys saw a phone?
No, I use their smartwatch though. No.
It's interesting that
I've seen their routers.
yeah, I've never seen anything from them. But it's beginning to hurt them in a way. That whole thing is beginning to hurt. Um Facebook again. So it says that a confidential Facebook document reviewed by The Intercept shows that Facebook courts carriers, along with phone makers, some 100 different companies in 50 countries, by offering the use of even more surveillance data pulled straight from your smartphone by Facebook itself. Again, take it with a grain of salt. Offer to select Facebook partners, the data include not just technical information about Facebook members' devices and use of Wi-Fi and cellular networks, but also their past locations, interests, and even their social groups. The data is sourced not just from the company's main iOS and Android apps, but from Instagram and Messenger as well. The data has been used by Facebook partners to assess their standing against competitors, including customers lost to and won from them, but also for more controversial uses like racially targeted ads. Facebook is Facebook is suffering. That cannot, even though any publicity is good publicity. This is when you see it again and again and again and again and again. If Tamara is the one that's doing all this, then that's good work,
All
girl.
all companies are cyclical, and if you've studied the cycle of technology, and I don't remember who the first person was that pioneered this. I remember Tom Peters was one of the first people to go out and study successful companies, and they had, I don't know if it came from him or came from someone else, where you have the curve where you've got the initial invention, you've got widespread acceptance, you get to the point where they're at the top of the curve, and if they don't innovate, they drop, and then if they drop down, if they re-innovate again, they keep building the curve up and down. It's like growth over time. It's the same was true with every company, and Facebook maybe they've peaked. Maybe they've jumped the shark and they won't be around as we know it for too much longer, because something could happen. Some other scandal could emerge, or something that they do. I mean, it's obvious now. It's actually starting to get out that people who do pay attention to the news and what's happening when they're testifying in front of Congress and the Senate and all that. So,
Well,
but everything goes in cycles.
everything does. And
And look
and
at
and here's another thing about Facebook. Facebook wants to dismiss a lawsuit stemming from the Cambridge Analytica scandal by arguing that it did not violate users' private rights because there is no expectation of privacy when using social media. There is no invasion of privacy at all because there is no privacy. Their counsel said during a pretrial hearing to dismiss a lawsuit stemming from the Cambridge Analytica, according to Law 360. The company reportedly didn't deny that third parties accessed users' data, but it instead told U.S. District Judge that there was no reasonable expectation of privacy on Facebook or any other social media site. So just
Well,
they're
I,
saying
I
something that we heard all the time and we kept on saying there is no privacy. There is no privacy. I mean, you give up your privacy.
right, but that's the assumption. I don't. It's like all the talk about privacy had some came from some feeling that you're expected to have privacy when you're using a
Yeah,
free service. I mean, the talk was out there since Gmail,
right.
right? Gmail, the when they offered the 1 gigabyte mailbox for free, they said the caveat is we're going to serve you ads based on the content of your email. That was how it started. You're going to get something free towards relinquishing your privacy.
Mm-hmm.
The newspapers, the news people, they made a deal out of it. But the people, they said, hey, we don't need privacy. Give me free email.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
And nothing changed since then. And suddenly the news people, they're like, what? We never had privacy? Come on. This is like, it feels like if you want a run on fake news and creating news out of nothing, this is it, right?
Well, still though, I mean, people are expecting. I mean, maybe you brush it aside and you don't think about it when it's going on. Nobody actually told Google, we don't care about privacy, just give us free email. It's sort of like the way that
What are you talking about?
it came.
Everybody pressed the I
Right.
agree button.
How many people?
Right.
How many people actually knew what
That's their problem.
Yeah, I know.
If
I understand.
If Mike would be here, that's exactly what he would say.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
You're signing a contract,
true.
and the contract says, "I don't care about my privacy with you."
Yeah. No,
Simple as that.
I agree wholeheartedly that that's
I don't. I find it like it's.
but
I don't have a good analogy right now, but the moment I'll have one, it feels like somebody took your you bought something, right? Even if you pay,
yeah.
right? You bought something and the advertisement says you can pay how much you want, right? We'll give you nothing, and then you were complaining that you got nothing. It's something like that. It's like, stop complaining.
Well,
If there's one consumer one rather strongly consumer centric society that I know, it's the US, right? The US has been known to vote with their wallets, right? Affect the future of companies by banning, by buying, by not buying. And this is the simplest thing in the world, saying, I don't want to use this because this service is not good for me. But keep on using it and complaining? Come on. How long are we going to have this discussion, right?
Gal's actually invading on my privacy this week as well. I've got
Oh, yeah.
first-hand remarks of him.
Oh, you knew the deal before we started.
He was peering in on what I was doing. My privacy was
violated.
Well, yeah, but he revoked my privacy rights. I actually didn't sign any privacy rights. I'm gonna take this up with Mike Gal. You'll be hearing from my lawyer. No, but
Well,
here's the thing, Gal. You're right. And Amnon, I know what you're saying, but it doesn't matter that people didn't read it. I mean, Google's
right. No. I'm not arguing. I'm not arguing.
It's a tough situation.
Yep.
Because you're right. When I signed up for my first my first thing I probably signed up for was a YouTube account. When I signed up for that, I did not read any. I was probably 8 years old. I didn't read any privacy terms. I didn't read anything. But that's the business. Google is in the data business. They're not in any other business.
Right.
They're not in the email business. They're not in the video CDN business. They are in the data business.
Right.
And they're damn good at it. They really are. They are really good at data. The fact that your Google phone will notify you of things happening in your area automatically based on things that you've looked at in the past, and that's what they do, and they're really, really good at it. There are privacy concerns, but hey, you put yourself in there.
Let me ask you this, Nick.
Yes, sir.
If when you go and register to Facebook, Google, right, they'll put in red large letters, by clicking this, we are going to make money from the data you give us.
Yeah.
You think people will stop using it?
No, absolutely not.
So that's probably all they need to do.
Yeah. But they don't want it. But here's the thing, though. Most people don't. I'll use my mother as a non-technical person as an example. I don't think she thinks Google and Facebook do what we talk about what they do. Because most people that just use Facebook for what its intended use case was, which is what? Pictures of the family, updating status things, commenting, keeping up with your friends that you went to school with or used to work with. That's what Facebook's use case is or was or whatever. People that use it for that, I'm sure, are not thinking like we are. My data is being marketed and sold. So for them, you want to keep them in the dark because the less they know, the better. For us, I mean, what are they? Yeah, exactly. Are you gonna? I'm not gonna delete my Facebook account. Not that I use Facebook a lot. I'm just not gonna delete my account. There's no reason to delete.
So that's the thing. I think the end of all of this discussion eventually is going to be that Attorney General, not Attorney General, the Health General notice on cigarettes,
Yeah, the
right?
Inspector General.
It's Inspector General, all right? So that's how it's going to end eventually. These sites are going to be somehow by US law required. It's a bit like the cookie message that the European Union forces sites to put in. You've probably noticed, right?
Yeah.
In the past 2 years, every site you log into or you're not logged into yet shows you a message about cookies, that we're using cookies to track your activity, right? It's like a mandatory thing. They need to make sure that you acknowledge, so they put it as a pop-up. This is what it's going to end with. Nothing more, right? There's not going to be any major change in how these companies are dealing, just how they are informing the public that uses them what is being done with their data or how, right? It's collected or something like that. But that's it. It's not going to
Yeah.
stop.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, there's no arguing.
Yeah. Unless we stop using them.
Yeah, which it was not convenient. And when we do what is convenient, I mean, that's what we do.
Well, so I think you remember we talked about Mastodon last week, right?
Mhm.
I think that the more solutions like that start showing up, then we'll get rid of those huge, big, large free services. We're still going to get those services, some of them for free, and some of them we could pay for and control. That's what I'm thinking is going to happen eventually.
Okay.
It's going to take time.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, let's put it this way. The internet, just before it started, it looked like CompuServe, right? Like a pay service where you go on message boards and actually the premium was rather high for making use of this interconnectedness that nobody understood how it works behind the scene. And CompuServe provided a fantastic front end, right? Theoretically, that made a lot more sense to people. Then we became into this really a liberal in term of arts, in term of of abstract concepts. That not the political liberal, but became a lot more open, a lot more techy in a way, right? And then corporation came in and found a way of how to give you your service for free and still get something back, right, through ads. So it's another cycle. It's another cycle, and we'll get there. But just crying about it and complaining about it won't solve it. That's what I'm saying.
But it makes people feel good about complaining.
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
The other people.
Makes me
Hey,
feel great.
at least we meet for once a week, and and we make a thing of complaining about it. Most people, they just they don't even share their thoughts with others. So I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, true. True. No, that's true. Um still, I mean, it's even if people are just whining and complaining. I mean, there is merit. Uh yes, you did not read. You you agreed to that, and there's nothing you can do about it. But I would think that they should make it possible that, okay, now that I know, I really don't want to be part of you anymore.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
that's
And
easy.
there
The
is no
delete,
such thing.
they provided that.
Nah, not in reality.
In reality, trust me, if anybody finds out that the delete profile in Facebook doesn't work, right? They're going to be slammed with GDPR fines, which are so high. They can't take that chance. It's not like a little fine that they can pay and brush off.
Well, I'll back what I'm saying with what I did on LinkedIn. But it's almost a year since I deleted my profile completely from LinkedIn.
Right.
And they say it'll take about 10 days. I said, okay. I still get messages weekly. Oh, you were searched so many times. People searched for you on LinkedIn. You need to come in and update. I said, what? And I try to go to see, well, am I still there? And I said, no, you're not. Well, I mean, is that a screw up on their end that they allowing some people to first of all, it's probably just bots. But the point is, you don't know. Well, do they still have my information there that I told them I don't want you to keep?
No, that's
I,
something screwed up. And
well, it could be a technical problem. I agree, but it
I don't
could
think it's a technical
also.
problem at all. They want you to reactivate your account. Your account was not
no,
deleted.
but he can't
Actually,
log in.
actually, I
Doesn't matter.
can't. You can't log in. You can't reactivate. It seems weird.
I guarantee. Would you try this for us, Amnon? Would you contact LinkedIn and see if they could restore your account? I guarantee you they can restore it to where it was.
Then that means that they never deleted it.
Correct. They never did.
Okay, you see, that's my point. I
Maybe they
said,
did. I don't know.
remove me. I want to close my account. I can't remember the link that you click. Close my account or cancel or something. There was something, and you click it, and that's it. And they say it'll take 10 days, and after that, that would be it. And in the first 10 days, they did send emails and said, "Do you need to reactivate it?"
Well, then
And-
maybe it is gone.
no.
I'm not sure.
So it's they don't want to lose that. It's information that maybe they figure one of these days they can do something with. I don't know. Now let's go to something lighter. iTunes.
Oh yeah.
Okay. You want to talk
Goodbye.
about it?
Sayonara.
Okay. While it was initially reported that iTunes would live on in Mac OS 10.15, it now looks like the app will be retired. Over 18 years after it was introduced by the late Steve Jobs at Macworld on January 9th, 2001. And that's from Mac Rumors. Apple will be replacing iTunes with standalone music, TV, and podcast apps in the next major version of macOS, expected to be unveiled at WWDC 2019 this week. According to Bloomberg, Mark Gurman, it says that iTunes has been the way Apple users listen to music, watch movies and TV shows, hear podcasts, and manage their devices for almost 2 decades. This year, Apple is finally ready to move into a new era.
Thank God, because it was nothing worse than they make changes to it and rearrange it on a regular basis to make it better when all you really wanted to do was work.
Yeah, well, I don't know. The only time that I use iTunes is when I add or remove a podcast from their directory.
When was the last time you did that?
But 2 weeks ago.
Really? You're still doing that through iTunes?
You have to. That's the only way. They
Okay,
when you go and you say
website now.
What?
Podcasts.itunes.com. You're not doing it through the
no.
program.
You have to start iTunes on
Okay.
your local machine, and it opens the browser or something, and you click on the podcast, whatever. And I mean, I have
Yeah, it's different than it used to be though. Now there's an individual website for podcasts.
Oh, okay. No, I think they're talking about the app.
No,
not the-
and what I'm saying is that unlike before, the only way to submit podcasts to iTunes was to do it through the Apple client.
Okay,
Now
see.
they've got a website. You have an account. There's a pending approval process. It's a lot more in depth than it.
Oh,
used
it's
to
still the same. I mean, you have to do that.
Correct. You never used to have to.
Okay, I started when you had to, sort of, because they wanted you to put everything in. It says something it's under review, and then they'll send you an.
Yeah, now there's an actual portal. Unlike before, it was just a submission.
Okay, so that's going to go away, and I guess I'll have to learn a new way to do that from now on. But it's I'm sure. Again, I'm sure they're doing it in order to give better service.
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay. And Motorola. Oh, I'm sorry. What?
I was going to say Tetris turns 35 this week.
Okay. Are you still playing it?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Every day for hours.
I'd like to share this image before we move on.
Okay. Wait a second. Hold it.
This is the image of how everybody actually feels about iTunes.
Does that say the best or the worst behind?
It says the best. This is what they wrote. This is what Steve Jobs wrote in his keynote. The best Windows app ever written. It is by far one of the worst programs that has ever existed on Windows. It is the slowest, most clunky, unusable piece of software on Windows. It really is incredible.
When they first started to break out some of the functionality from it, for synchronizing your iPod or your iPhone. It got to the point where every time they had a new release, you had to go, so how did they do this now? Why did they change this? They moved this, they did this. Oh, we're making it better. Well, why don't you just leave it alone?
It works.
Well, yeah. I'd say good. I will give them credit.
If you mean by taking your computers to its knees, yes, it works.
I'll give Apple credit on the last two iPhones I've gotten. I have done nothing with iTunes. I don't even have iTunes installed. You don't need to anymore. They've got it all based through iCloud and through the web now. You don't need iTunes to.
How do you back up your phone?
It's backs up through iCloud.
No, but I mean when you do a complete backup.
iCloud is
that's right. You can do it through the cloud now. It's not just data.
I literally don't have iTunes installed, and I haven't used iTunes in.
Yeah, I actually bought more storage. So
I need to do that. I need to go do. How much is that? Is it monthly or yearly?
Monthly.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
I'm trying to remember what
I need to go do that because I'm out of space. It's not doing complete backups anymore. I need to make sure that it's doing that. But yeah, I mean, you really don't need iTunes anymore. It's not now. The first iPhones, you used to have to do all the backups, all the upgrades, all the music, had to do all that crap through iTunes. But now there's no need. They have gotten away from it. It's not like they're just closing iTunes down and leaving everybody,
Yeah, and Alan is saying adding and removing podcasts is the worst aspect of it. It's hell.
Yeah.
Every time I used to spend half an hour trying to figure out how to do it, and it's oh yeah, that's right. Finally, I wrote instructions. But it's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. And not only that, but oh yeah, so they're talking about including video podcasts.
They already do.
Yeah. So I go and I put the URL for the audio of the show. And then I go and I put the RSS feed for the video. When I get to the video, it says, oh, no, you already listed this. It's like they're not paying attention to the last part. I know they do, but somehow it doesn't. So I don't have any of the video RSS feeds on iTunes for any of the shows. Because if I tried, I mean, yeah, I'm sure if I'll change the name completely.
No, there must be a problem with your feed.
No, I mean, I tried. I don't go and I click on it and everything is fine. It works.
They are absolutely parsing the whole URL, though.
I don't know. They said this has already been listed.
Has it already been listed?
No, it's a new show.
Oh.
Never been listed. But the way that the name the way that the format of the file name, and you remember this, Nick, because you worked on it.
I
with
do.
me,
I know.
Is the name of the file with the date, or the name of the file -v with the date.
But are you telling me? Are you putting the audio and the video in the same RSS feed?
No.
You're
no,
not.
it's two different things.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I can't put it. Well, I guess I could, but I don't.
You can't.
I
No,
mean,
that
I have
doesn't
two
work.
files. I have one file for audio and one file for video.
For RSS feed, not the file.
The XML file.
Yes.
Yeah. I have one for audio and one for video.
But the RSS feed doesn't have the date and everything in it. It's just a static URL.
Well, no, it is in the XML file. It
Correct.
has
I'm
the,
just saying the name
oh,
of the
I
XML
see. Yeah,
file.
you're right. Yeah. So no, the actual RSS feed that I type on in iTunes would say Nick.mp3 or
You don't.
it
No,
what?
you don't put MP3. RSS is
I
not
don't
MP3.
no, that's right. It's Nick.xml with all the before it all the URL or Nick-V.xml.
No, I'd recommend we take a look at that because something
Yeah.
doesn't sound right. Something is not being
All
done
right.
there.
Okay, we can.
Hey, I got to run.
You're going to running?
Got to go a couple minutes early here. I have to
All right.
stuff to do, places to go, people to see, money to make.
Too much time and not enough
I'm
stuff.
late for recording my voice for all the for replacing Alexa.
Okay. Oh yeah. No, you need to go. Yeah, you
I
need
need to
to go.
record my voice, have that
Absolutely.
all done. So,
Absolutely.
Spencer,
see you
open the
later.
garage door, and I'll say, "Why?" You
All
have a
right,
good
Spence.
reason? Tell me why, and maybe I'll do it. The argumentative side of
Of
home
Alexa.
automation.
No.
All right, guys, have a good
Okay.
week.
Yep. See you.
Talk to you.
Bye.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
The last story I had here is about cell phones. The Motorola $500 Moto Z4 is finally official, bringing an updated design with a near notchless 6.4-inch OLED display. 6.4. Headphone jack and support for the company's Moto mods. Other specs include a Qualcomm Snapdragon 675 processor, 4 gig of RAM with 128 gig of storage, expendable via Microsoft micro SD to 2 terabytes, and Android 9.0 Pie, with Motorola promising an updated to Q in the future. $500. How big is the screen on the iPhone?
Which one?
I don't know. The biggest screen they make on iPhone.
I have no idea. They make so many different models. It's not really.
I mean,
Well,
6.4.
speaking of
What?
speaking of like mid-level priced phones, $700 you can get the OnePlus 7. Have you seen that?
No.
So they did something novel. I think it's going to be horrible, but I also think if this succeeds, this is going to be huge. So you know how the screens they're getting to cover more and more
Yeah.
area, right? And in the last iPhone, Samsung, and even in the previous OnePlus, there's just a small notch for the front-facing cameras.
Right.
This one has no front-facing camera on the front, so it's all screen, like the entirety of it.
Notchless. Yeah.
Yeah, but you still get a selfie camera. It just pops out.
Oh, there's something
Mechanically.
else to break.
Yeah, Samsung's
Yeah,
doing this
that's my.
too.
Yeah, they're doing that too.
Yeah.
I've just seen the the video, and I'm saying I love the idea about the screen, but I know for sure that the camera won't survive.
Well, apparently they, according to the R&D, because I watched a, a video about this, it's gone through something like they say it'll work for like 250,000 ups and downs.
Yeah, but when it's up, you
Right,
can
when it's
hit
up
it
and
in a
it
certain
falls,
way.
right?
Well, of
Yeah.
course. I mean, now if you drop your phone, I mean, if you drop your phone anyway, stuff is going to break.
Yeah, but
the
if
real
you
question is going to be the mechanics in the phone failing.
yeah.
That's
The
that's
only
the
way I
concern.
see this actually working is if that pop in, pop out module is detachable in
I don't
some
think
way.
it is.
And then you can replace it easily if it breaks, right?
That will make
And
sense.
no,
yeah.
yeah. But you remember the old Nokia phones, the ones that would drop, and the only thing that happens is that the battery just popped out, and you just put them back together, and nothing happened.
Yeah.
Right. That design needs to come back somehow. the unbreakable phones. But
The
today it's
unbreakable
ridiculous, right?
phone.
Everything, yeah. Today, I mean, with all the glass around them, it's still ridiculous. Hey,
Mm.
Samsung failed to even launch their folding phone, right? Because it was breaking on demo units. So yeah.
I don't know why there's this crazy movement to get rid of the notches on the phones.
I know.
I know why. It's because of media consumption, but frankly, how much media are you watching on your phone?
What are you
Oh,
talking
come
about?
on, Nick.
What?
You are watching tons of media on your
BS.
phone.
I watch very little media on my phone. I do. I don't watch YouTube videos. I don't. I watch them on computers. I watch very little content on my phone. I read plenty of content. I'm on social media all the time on my phone, but I don't watch YouTube videos or um I've never watched a TV show on my phone or a movie. I can
Hmm,
say that
okay.
with
Well,
unequivocally without a doubt.
I can tell you I do that. I
Eh,
watch a lot of
do you?
video on it. Yeah,
Well, that makes
and
sense then.
I can see my teenage son. Like this is the main form of consumption.
Hmm. But is the notch really that big of a deal? Because it doesn't really shift the
Oh
aspect ratio.
no, no, no. Of
So
course not.
so what's the
But the moment you have
craziness?
a design, saying you want to get rid of the bevels, you always have the purist to say let's get rid of it completely, right?
It
Uh,
just
in a way, I think it even makes their design. It makes it easier on the designer not dealing with the notch, because then when the notch is there, they need to either with software, right, work around that, or make it or cover it, and then you have some detail missing from the picture. But if you say, hey, I don't need to worry about it, I have a square, right, I don't care what's in that square, you're designing the software around it is a lot easier. So it's also part of that, right? Writing modules that are easy to control.
but let me ask those. Okay, so great. So now you've made the app development easier, but now you're dealing with a mechanical piece.
Oh, I agree.
So I think they're over engineering a solution to a problem that doesn't really exist. I mean, I've got the iPhone. I don't know what iPhone this is. This is the 8 or whatever that's got just the bezel at the top. The bezel is where the stuff is. The camera and the speaker are up at the top of the phone.
Right, but
So what I mean, and so I understand that and then the new iPhones 10s have that little notch.
yeah,
That seems to work fine.
yeah.
I
I
just
mean,
don't know.
I have that small notch in the OnePlus 6 I'm using. It's okay. I don't care about it. But the a designer always cares about
I
that.
know.
So
I've always found it very weird. I never I don't know. I saw this with OnePlus. Samsung and OnePlus are both doing this now, and it just seems like they're going back 30 years in time on a solution. Because no, you're absolutely right. A
yeah.
mechanical piece is going to fail. S- Gunk and dust and dirt is going to build up in it, and the
Hmm.
motor's going to stop working, or it's going to strip out, or something is going to happen. And then
Oh,
your camera selfies go all because you wanted an extra eighth of an inch on a YouTube video and the screen
there
real estate.
there is one thing that I can think of why they're doing it. I don't know if it'll ever if it'll pan out that way. But for me, I use the front facing camera a lot less than I use the back facing one. Uh, I know there are those who use it a lot more. So this also might be like an experiment on their side, seeing how long is it's going to survive. Maybe we can make another model without a front facing camera at all.
Yeah, I mean, I think for people my age, the front facing camera is a lot more useful. I'm not the right person to weigh in on this because I really don't. I don't use social media like most of my peers my age. Um, I I can pro I don't I couldn't tell you the last time I took a picture with the front facing camera. But that's not that's not normal. It's a lot more used.
Yeah, no, the front-facing camera I use is I probably use it, I don't know, 5 times a year when I have a video call with the phone.
Mm.
Right?
Yeah,
I even there was a broadcast once that I did with it. That was probably my most use of that. But it's probably not necessary. Maybe the next solution they'll sell the with a retractable mirror, and you'll only use the back flip
well, no.
camera.
I mean, what they're going to do is because what you didn't mention, Gal, on that OnePlus is the fingerprint scanner is embedded into the screen.
Oh yeah, they did that in
So,
the previous one as well.
so that's going to be where this goes. They're going to find some way to surface mount the camera on the LCD, but have it be invisible. That will be the eventual solution. I think. I don't know, but it seems like that's the only perfect solution.
Theoretically, that is a possible solution. I still don't see how they can. The tint for a glass surface displaying images, right,
Mhm.
is not something you can, that optics
I
can
know it's
clear
dark,
out.
very
Yeah.
dark. I don't know
So,
how they'll do it.
so I mean, maybe they're trying to get there, but yeah,
There will be
I-
some solution, and I don't know how to do it, but the fingerprint scanner in the screen, which obviously is a lot different technology, I understand, but that's the first step. They've gotten that down, and what it does is when you put your finger over the part of the screen, it lights up. I don't know if you have it, Gal, what phone,
yeah.
but it either lights up
So,
purple or green or a bright color to
so it looks
illuminate
like
your
this.
hand.
So it looks like this,
Yeah, so
right? You just press. You just wait.
No,
Yeah.
no, other way, other way, other way, other way. Yeah.
Here, yeah, okay. So you just press, yeah, just press the location. I'm probably not in the right
Ooh, look at that.
angle. Yeah, and then you're in.
but notice how when he put his hand over that, you could see all of these bright colors going around that. Part of
Mhm.
that is the animation, but that really is used for the screen is illuminating your hand, your thumb, so
Mhm.
that the sensor, because the sensor is now having to shoot through that tintable protection that Gal talked about. It has to light up your thumb so that it can get a good read on it. So
Right.
that's how they've curtailed that on that front. I don't know how they'll do it with the camera, but I can guarantee you pop out cameras with motors is
Oh,
not going to be the solution because it's going to be a freaking train wreck. Because
I
you're
I
right. You have your
agree.
phone up, you're taking your selfie, and you drop your phone, and it's like going to be
Never,
like a
never.
Lego flying off the top of your phone.
Not only
Unless
that.
unless it'll have sensors that when it falls, it retracts.
Not only that. What
It's like a
happens?
spider.
What happens if the
Spider
phone is?
sense.
What happens if the phone is in your pocket and somehow the camera comes on?
I don't think that will happen.
Oh,
Yeah.
what? Sometimes I
Well,
take.
so I can tell you that this phone specifically has something called pocket mode sensor. You can switch it off, but if the sensors, the proximity sensors are covered, it won't switch on.
Oh,
So I'm
okay.
guessing that will protect it from extracting automatically. Uh, it's far from perfect, right?
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
OnePlus has actually got a video on their channel. See if I can find it.
Don't play it.
I'm not gonna play it. They are I don't know how much of this I believe. They're holding a okay, this is BS, but I'll take their word for it. They're pulling a 49.2-pound piece of cement up with just that pop-out camera.
Oh,
okay.
okay. Yeah. Right.
Here's the thing,
Right.
though. There's got this thing. If this thing starts popping off people's phones and starts breaking, they'll find themselves in a lawsuit for misadvertising it. Because when you post, I mean, this video's got 1.1 million views, and they're pulling up a brick from it.
How many pounds?
49.2 pounds,
Yeah.
22.3 kilograms.
Right. From you try and do it just with your phone and put it around the end of your phone and try to pick it up.
No, I mean, your phone would hold
phone
that.
problem.
No, but here's the thing: they've made it quite relatively small, but I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. I posted the link in chat if anybody wants to watch it.
Okay. All right. Well,
For, notice they did 49.2 and not 50.
Yeah, probably broke at 50.
So 50 is the maximum limit of luggage for coach in flights. Don't use it as a
Yeah.
don't use it as a
funny.
For measuring your luggage. It's ridiculous.
They should have built a scale into it too. So when you pick up stuff, it'll show you how much it weighs, right? Yeah.
Well, the video does show something, right? And it does show that they understand that it's a concern. So they have thought about it in the design. The real question is, will it actually survive? Interesting. Okay, we'll see.
It will. We'll find out in the future sometime.
You remember cell phones used to have antennas, right?
Yep.
Like
The dual antennas were my favorite.
that wasn't a good idea then either. So.
Yep.
Oh, now actually now I can see some 4chan or Reddit starting saying that when it's extracted, you have better reception.
There was a Verizon phone one of my best friends had growing up, the one that did live TV, and it was a Verizon, it was an LG phone that Verizon branded, and it did live over the air TV, and it had a little antenna. I don't remember what it was called. The View. I don't know. Let's see if I can find it.
I guess that's for before streaming.
Yes. Oh, it's called the Vcast.
Vcast?
Yeah. Yep. Or that was maybe what the service was called.
Vcast mobile TV review.
Yeah, no, I'm not kidding. This is what it was.
Oh, it had a twisting
screen. Yeah, it had a little antenna.
They had something there.
Yeah, then until people realized they didn't want to pull out an antenna and have to worry about reception inside of a building.
And you had to hold it. A certain way.
Well, this was the day of
stick your
analog
tongue out.
TV, so you could deal with a weaker signal. You could deal with a weaker signal, but now in the digital days, you'd be screwed.
But BlackBerry are still making Android phones with keyboards.
You know that their BBM Messenger went offline yesterday, the last day of their Messenger service.
Yep, so, no more.
All done.
Anyway.
All right.
Well, thanks, Nick, Gal, Spence. And good morning, Kathy, Hannah, Nabil, Mac, Norm, Katie, and Donna. Thanks, everybody, for tuning into Computers 2K now. We hope you enjoyed and maybe learned something from our time together. Remember to practice safe computing, back up your hard drive, and update your virus scanner. We'll be back here next Sunday at 9, but you can always reach us at computers2know.com. Tonight at 7, Nick hosts Against the Norm. Right, Nick?
Yes, sir.
And at 9, it's Mike Phillips, The Crypto Culture Show. Both are on Wilmington Big Talker 106.7 FM. And you can go to TuneIn and listen to him no matter where in the world you are. And link to TuneIn is under the links in the nav bar. See you next week, everybody.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. If you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it in the archives section at nissancommunications.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Sponsored by Telestream's Wirecast software, StreamingGear.com, Carolina Apparel, and DeltaForce.net.